Well, we missed him. Tell him hi for us next
Yeah,
time
we
you see him. So, as far as this all goes, is it a full-time gig for you, or do you guys do, you know, things outside of comics and videos and?
Yes,
Yeah.
so that we can
outside.
Yeah.
The biggest money-making venture.
That's the flip side of doing something like this with 6 people. I mean, on the one hand, you can produce a lot more and the workload is a lot more divided. But on the other hand, you have to make 6 times the profit.
For anyone to be like, hey, I can make a living.
I can buy milk this month.
Right, so.
Although Leslie's Beasleys have turned into a nice little sideline for her.
Yeah, you do those as sort of like a kind of a part-time job now. Like I work part-time at a comic book store and then do the Beasleys for the rest of my time.
So your job is still pretty much in line with the whole comics.
Yeah, pretty happy.
Yeah, she hasn't sold out to
How about everybody else?
Yeah, she hasn't sold
Any
out to the man
sellouts
yet.
among the bunch?
Oh yeah, everybody works for the man.
Everybody works for the man.
Yeah, everyone works in the city.
Dun, dun, dun.
Scandalous.
I work at a fancy restaurant. I'm like a comically clumsy waiter. And yeah, Jeff writes test questions for a standardized test company.
Everyone else hates.
Yeah, that's Jeff has a job that we always misrepresent.
It requires like several paragraphs. I work for a testing company, and like if you need a real estate license or a contractor's license, I work in testing.
One time it was a private detective's license in Iowa.
It was like 3 years ago. Every time it comes up and he's around, he's like, remember when you did the private detective test? I was like, yeah, 3 years ago for Iowa.
Also, Emery's city job is for the LAPD. So basically, I'm like, I have these 2 friends in law enforcement.
No matter, you know, you're
Right.
cool. You got the hookup.
Gets us out of speeding tickets.
Oh, even better. There you go.
He does not actually.
So,
He doesn't see us.
nice.
Well,
She's the female.
I never.
Biologically female, if that's yes.
So this question is a little bit more for Leslie and Jeff. As far as the comics go, how long does it normally take you from beginning to end, like from concept to up on the website, when he's not lagging and giving you the script?
Well, we sort of worked out a system because basically it became clear that I could never actually get the script like that far in advance.
There was a period where
There was at
least a stretch where I behaved.
where he'd get to me like maybe a week before something. But no, usually we have meetings Sunday mornings,
Okay.
and usually we'll sort of work out the general idea for the script then, and then Jeff will take the next couple days to actually write it, and then he'll email to us, and we'll kind of tweak it and bounce back and forth if there's anything people aren't happy with, and then usually I'll get the finished one on Wednesday, and then spend Wednesday night making it, and then put it up in the wee hours of Thursday, or Thursday before he goes to work. And so yeah, it's usually sort of a one-night art process.
Right, because sometimes I do get the script to you before then, and
Right.
you just wait
Now
till
I'm just
Wednesday
out of
anyway.
habit.
Which is why I finally was like, well, may as well get it to her Wednesday.
Right. Well,
Now, was
Yeah.
any of that any inspiration for that Leslie Quits little short that we see?
Yes.
That really is basically
Absolutely.
a documentary.
Yeah.
That's really how high quality erotic art was devised as a strip. In its infancy was the weeks when Leslie was like, this isn't enough time, you have to draw it.
I was like, I will! It's this easy!
Because we see sometimes from week to week it looks like maybe Leslie was sick and so you had to substitute.
There are a few Atrox strips kind of in the middle there where I had to step in and I just drew this horribly crude Atrox and had him like say like ridiculous profane things about his drug use or what, just like out of character stuff. It's like, haha! I showed you Atrox. But that, yeah, basically was the impetus for high quality erotic art down the line was when I kept having ideas that would not be appropriate or would fit in with the whole Atrox
Aesthetic universe.
yeah, aesthetic universe, sure, it just wouldn't fit in.
not Atrox official continuity.
Right, not canon.
Gotcha.
All Atrox appearances in high quality erotic art are non-canon. Should not be recognized as continuity.
Okay, so on to the other part of the website, the videos. They have got to be my favorite part. I absolutely love them. Like Team Plug-in Sticks, that was, or Tea Time, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. Okay, but I have to ask you, Boat City, population boats. Should I be doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
Population boats.
Can Can
That
you just
was,
go into that?
Well, Emery and I have lived together basically since I graduated college, and there was a point where we lived in Glendale when Leslie was still in school, and we lived in Glendale and we didn't have a car, and all our friends lived far away, and so we were kind of isolated. So we would just talk about stuff.
It was like The Shining in that apartment.
It was just like, those were,
Yeah.
it was like, well, we come up with ideas and things. It's like, well, here's our big pitch to the execs. Like when we wind up in front of the heads of the studios, they're just gonna be like, here's the idea, fellas. It's Boat City, population boats. And then they ask us what that is, and we're like, God, oh, that was basically the impetus for the entire.
It's really part of. I mean, they actually had. That's just they devised like an entire like Saturday afternoon syndicated action pack.
That's true.
Boat City was just sort of like the flagship.
That was just the first of many
Maybe
TV
eventually we'll get
shows.
around to shooting them.
Is there going to be a Boat City population boats?
Probably not.
I can't imagine how that would even.
If anything, we
work.
might eventually shoot like the aftermath of its cancellation.
Right.
That would be a good one.
One of the other ones that was probably my favorite, actually, that we've talked about trying to find a way to do with like using photographs and things was a show called Dorfon, where the idea was that the actor Steven Dorff, each episode would track down a different actor that he
Be a reality series. Steven
Yeah.
Dorff would star.
Steven Dorff
as
from The
himself.
Power of One, right? That's what.
Exactly.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Blade.
Yeah,
Right. Blade.
yeah,
His masterpiece.
yeah.
Right,
It would be a reality show.
SFW,
Where, yeah.
The Gate. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a reality show where each episode he would track down a different actor or a couple of actors that he had co-starred with in one of his films, and then he would throw a wet Nerf ball at them, and then just yell, "You've been dwarfed,"
And then run down the
away.
Nice, nice. That's going to be
I don't think he's
fantastic.
doing anything right now.
I know.
No,
That was our feeling.
It's a possibility.
I bet Dorff could use the money.
If he did, I mean, he did Blade. That was.
Yeah, it was,
Steven
that was the
Dorff
idea.
did
That would be a
Watch
great
it.
episode because it would be like Dorf on Blade, and the episode opens up and it's him like pouring over like with a magnifying glass like the poster for the movie. Who are the other cast members?
It's like, who else is in it? Chris
Right,
Christopherson.
right, right,
He visits-
exactly.
Yeah, he visits LA County Jail or whatever.
Right.
Wesley
Right,
Snipes.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
It's like Wesley Snipes was easy to find.
Christopherson, he might have to disguise himself as like a roadie, you know, he's like a jam session. with,
Depending on like the
Willie
thing,
Nelson.
because if he had if it was Reese Witherspoon, then like that had to, you have to do some planning. 'Cause,
Right, she's hard to get to.
Right, exactly. it's not as easy to throw a Nerf ball at Reese Witherspoon as it might be to Chris
But it would be
Christopherson.
fun. You have
Right,
to.
exactly.
Yeah.
I wanted to throw a weapon.